this has been where it's at since I was born. You know, it's like my landscape. This is where these mountains and this lake. That's like it's like where I'm from. My father would always teach me that whenever we go to sacred places, whether it's the mountains or whether it's bodies of water, or rivers or lakes, that we always come and we share in the beauty of nature, and we gotta leave something too. We gotta leave a little offering, whether it's a little bit of tobacco or a little bit of our hair, just a little bit of a offering to give back to the Mother Earth, and in simple ways, with a song, with a prayer. So I'll share a quick song from my people. It's in Nahuatl, and the sacred language of the Mexica people originally from Mexico City. It goes like this. It goes, Inquishke Calmanilis in Semanawa. Inquishke Calmanilis in Semanawa. Ai xipoli wisininteyo inintauka. Ai xipoli wisininteyo inintauka. Ai xipoli wisininteyo inintauka. Ininteyo inintauka. I Mexico Tenochtitlan. That is my offering to the water. Yeah, so my name is Xiuhtezcatl Martinez. I'm 14 years old. I'm an indigenous environmental hip-hop artist, change agent, rule breaker, revolutionary. And yeah, I've been on this planet for the last 8 years, doing all that I can to try to protect the earth, the air, the water, the atmosphere, so that my generation and those to follow can inherit the planet that they deserve to inherit. It's healthy, sustainable, habitable, and I really feel like our connection to water is one of the most important things, because as it's been said a lot, water is what connects us, because water is what we all require for our life, for our existence here on Earth. If you think about the percentage of water that makes up the planet, the percentage of water that makes up our body, there's symbiotic relationships right there that we've never seen anywhere before. And we deserve to protect that water for everything that is given to us, give back to that, do all that we can to return to the earth that we have taken, and really keep that exchange of energy in balance. Because otherwise there's going to be a lot of lack of balance that we're going to see on the planet that is not going to benefit the world that we want to see, the world that we want to create.
It's a pleasure, brother Xiuhtezcatl. It's an honor to be present and to join in on the work and the vision of all people. And thank you for welcoming me here. And I have a few questions here. And the first one I have for you is, why is it important to create a global awareness around water?
I think as human beings on this planet, we have a lot of power, and I think we have a lot of responsibility as caretakers of the land. The indigenous people, the original peoples of this earth, they knew that off the bat, and everything that they did, every aspect of their life was in perfect harmony with the world around them. So when it comes about raising awareness about water, that's raising awareness about our life. A lot of people don't see that connection between water and our existence as humans. We drink water daily, but we don't think about what we're putting into our body. We don't think about what that's doing for us. We don't think about the thoughts that we're putting into the water. And I think that if we begin to realize that the water can hear us, the water has a voice that needs to be heard, and there's people like us that are speaking up for the water. And I think more and more people have to be aware about the kind of connections that we have and that we share with the natural world around us, the kind of connections that we share with the water. And those are very important things that are not really being taught to this generation, that aren't really being taught to the people this day and age. But I think as far as the world and the way that we need to see ourselves and the way that we need to take action on water, it's important to know where we come from. It's important to know who we are. And a part of that is our connection to the waters of the world, whether it be a river or a lake, or the rain that falls, or the snow that falls. realizing that that is life, realizing that that is a very, very important connection to our ancestry. And water's been here for millions of years, the same water. We gotta take care of that water and make sure it's here for millions of years to come for future generations.
Thank you, brother, for that response. That really opens up a lot of answers to what we all need to that collective awakening and responding to what you're saying. So, second question I have for you, brother, is please tell us about your work.
I've been on the front lines of community action on protecting our environment, protecting our way of life as indigenous peoples, as Mexica people, as the native peoples of this land. You know, protecting the earth that we have been given, and that we are giving back as much as we receive. And I've been on the front lines of community action all over Colorado, different parts of the country, to really spread awareness about what I've learned through my teachings, through my cultura, through what I've learned on this red road. Mira. Blessings from my sky brothers, the Huautli.
The Tulotlis. Our Hawk brothers.
It's the first time I've heard them make that sound ever. Blessings from the Creator.
Yes.
But man, since I was very young, I've been on a very important path. I feel like, and a lot of it has just been being aware of what's happening in the world around me and how I can do everything that I possibly can to do what I can to impact people around me in a positive way, in a way that'll benefit the world. And so through the teachings of my culture, through just education about the crisis that we are facing on our planet, I've been taking action, and I've been speaking at United Nations events across the country. I've been involved in different community action, rallies, marches, protests, kind of all kinds of activist actions that I've been taking, and really speaking up as a voice for this Mother Earth, a voice for those who a lot of people can't hear the voices of our familia, of our brothers and sisters that are often silenced. And I think also speaking up as a voice of the water, and being a leader for this planet, a lot of what I do is communicating to young people why it's important to take action on these things, but through hip-hop, through music, through movement, through a beat, but with a positive message, with a lyrical message that will engage and inspire people. So really doing all that I can to protect, preserve the places that we love. You know, a lot of times when people think about climate change is one of the biggest issues that I deal with. When we think about protecting our environment, they think about, you know, activists and radicals and hippies, and they think about the polar ice caps and the oceans rising. But you know, what it's really about, it's about protecting the places that we love. It's about protecting the things that we rely on, that we depend on. It's about protecting this that we have, and preserving this for future generations, and preserving this for my siblings, for my children, for my grandchildren, for my little nieces and nephews, and preserving what we have. And I think that's why I'm here, you know, to do all that I can to use my voice to reach as many people as I can, to help them understand that, you know, this is not only a fight for the earth, a fight for our water, but this is a fight for our people, for our culture, to pass that on, fight for our generation and those to follow.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much for that. It was something, a lot of the things to consider with our future, so thank you for that. Another question I have here for you is, what do you think are the solutions for cleaning the water on our planet?
I think it's beautiful to see that last World Water Day there was prayer, and there was intention, and there was ceremony all over the world. And I think that's so important, you know. That ability to connect to our culture, to connect to what's sacred, to connect to what we can spiritually connect with, and use that to pray for the water. That is, it's beautiful. And you know, being in the Mexica ceremonies, in our traditional ceremonies, our water, atzintli, that has always been a very important part of our culture. Kiawit, the rain that falls from the sky. You know, that has always played an important role in our lives. You know, people follow the water. Where there's abundance of water, there's abundance of life. And as far as solutions, I mean, that prayer is the first step, right? to acknowledge and to see the beauty of the world around us, the beauty that is possible because of the water that we see, the water that we have, and these many blessings that we have as humans on the planet. And that prayer is the first step. But I think it's got to move into action, because prayer can take us only so far. And that is the important first step, to realize our spiritual connection with water. And once we see that connection, once we feel that connection within us, then there's nothing going to be stopping us from taking it to the next level, from taking action, from being leaders in our community, from being leaders for our generation, being young people that are willing to stand up and fight for what we believe in whatever way that we can, whatever way that we can give back. And so prayer is a beautiful way to be able to connect with this, then to solidify it and to be able to save these places that we love, save these places that we want to preserve. We gotta take action. And I don't know what that looks like for you, because everybody's different. Whether you want to raise your voice, you want to write a letter, write a poem, write a song, paint a picture, whatever it is that calls you, use that to change the world, to preserve the water for the world, because that's all we got.
Amazing, bro. Thank you for that. Last question I have for here, brother, is so much of the world's water is polluted. Do you think we have the ability to fix the problem?
I think as individuals on our planet, we got to realize that everything that we do in our lives impacts the world around us. Every single decision that we make is a vote for or against our future, for or against the health of the planet. And I think that if we can take small steps in our lives to reduce the amount of waste that we're putting into our environment, putting into our air, putting into our waters, polluting and contaminating our sources of life, that as individuals we can not only reduce that, but then begin to take action to reverse the damage that we have done to the planet around us. And I think that there's a beauty and a simplicity, because it's not, this isn't a job, this is a responsibility, because it's about protecting our way of life. It's about protecting the things that we find sacred, that we rely on, that we depend on. And we see waters like this, that's all that's left. When we see places like this that are beautiful, that bring people together of all walks of life, that's what's left. And we got to protect that. And not only do we have to protect it, but we got to reclaim what has been lost. We got to reclaim what has been lost in our cultures, in our environment, on our planet, for this generation, for the children on the earth right now. And there's a lot that we can do to help, but I think the first thing is we got to inspire the people of the world to realize that what's left is important. And they have to realize, if there's not that connection to what we see as sacred, that if we can't connect to that, then we're wasting our time. So that's why it's important to awaken the people, to show them that there is a better way to live, to show them that there's an easier path. There's a path that does not require the destruction that we have done to the planet. And there is hope. There is always hope, and there will always be hope, as long as there are people on the planet that care enough to fight for what they believe in.